With cameras at every corner, any incidents that may happen likely have video evidence now attached to it. And then it is just tree after tree just like this all the way down. Jeff and Amy, if this much snow fell in Wausau, Stevens Point, any of those places all at once, it would be snow chaos. But take a look down the street with me. It's completely calm as it's just another day in Guile. So I have $20 here. We're going to see how much we can get here at the farmer's market for $20 versus at the grocery store. But when he went to check things out, the room was empty.
News Channel 7's Emily Davies was on hand as the pool opened and joins us now via Local I-7 in Wausau. Looks like you are getting
Heather,
a
here
little
at
sun.
Kaiser Pool, safety is of the utmost importance. As you can see, I'm taking a cue from the lifeguards here. The athletes here are not only flexing their muscles, but lifting up a community.
Speaking of victories in the Republican Party, we're going to go to someone who has one tonight, and that is Emily Davies with Representative Sean Duffy. Emily? A selfie with the representative.
It's a very exciting time, as you can see. Just took a selfie with Sean Duffy. He just finished his victory speech not too long ago, doing selfies together. And as you can see, he's out of the flannel, into the suit. Now you got another term to run. How does that feel?
Listen, it feels great, and so great we're doing selfies together right as we're going live on Channel 7.
The breaking developments overnight. The mass officer shooting in Dallas is continuing to take shape this morning. As of right now, at least 11 police officers have been shot, 5 of which are now dead. Someone opened fire in the city's downtown area Thursday evening as a protest rally was breaking up. The president says law enforcement nationwide have a tough job and deserve to go home to their families just like anyone else. But he noted all Americans must do a better job to promote the best practices to reduce the appearance or reality of racial bias in law enforcement. Now, Patrice, you came on the Wausau Police Force in 2009. You actually spoke with News Channel 7 back then. We have some footage too. And it was just the first 4 months on the job that we talked with you, and you said that you always wanted to be a police officer. You were motivated by your hometown crime in Milwaukee, and you see yourself as any other officer, but you happen to be African American. Another thing you mentioned is that you hadn't had any negative issues on the job based on your race, but you're willing to deal with it with an open mind. Do you feel the same way today after being on the job now for, I guess, 7 years?
Yes.
And especially with all the situations that we've been having going on.
In the community here, absolutely. I haven't had any issues with my race here. This is a wonderful community for anyone to live in.
We've got a lot to cover on this Thursday, July 14th, straight ahead on Sunrise 7. Good morning, I'm Emily Davies.
And I'm Sean Caldwell. Thank you for joining us. Boy, it feels cooler this morning.
I know, it's kind of nice. The mugginess is gone. Mark, you're right.
Yeah, yesterday.
You're right, Mark.
Yesterday, boy, I don't hear that often.
I know.
Yeah.
So when it happens, we got to give credit where credit's due.
Yes.
It's so warm that the Asian beetles are still out. In fact, you have one in your hair.
No.
I kid you not.
Oh my God.
Mark,
This
let's
is
check
a
in with
problem.
meteorologist Mark Hawley. What are we to do?
What in the world?
You know what you do? Well, actually, no, those stink when you swat.
There it goes. Fly, my pretties, fly.
He must have known that my suggestion was going to be.
New on Sunrise, it looks like bacon and it tastes like bacon, but it's actually cheaper and better for you.
Does it really taste like bacon?
But,
I don't know. One restaurateur in Illinois says it's no miracle, it's schmaken. Howard Bender says he's put in 4 years of research to develop the beef-based bacon, analyzing the perfect cut and how to get those well-known curls.
Marathon County is the largest county in the state in terms of land mass. It's also one of only 3 counties out of the other 72 in the state that does not have a uniform or unique addressing system.
That's right. County first responders say that causes dangerous difficulties to navigate emergencies, and News Channel 7 investigates what you need to know as the county board looks to readdress.
Marathon County 911, this is Colleen. What is your emergency?
You know 911 is the number to call in an emergency.
Hi, I'm in a ditch and I snapped my neck pretty bad.
But you never think you'll have to dial.
Okay, where are you at?
I'm on Star Road.
Okay, where on Star Road?
I don't really know.
I'd say about probably 60 to 70% of the calls that we take, people don't know where they are, especially on the highways.
Jennifer Head is someone trained to pick up emergency calls to get the right help to the right location.
In worst case scenario would be it can result in somebody dying if we don't send help to the right address.
Some of these calls are very brief, they're very panicked, and we don't have a named caller, and they don't tell us their township or municipality.
Marathon County Sheriff's Lieutenant Mark Wagers says managing 10 different addressing grids throughout the county throws additional problems on top of an already stressful situation.
On the western side, you've got the town of Cleveland, and you've got 4171. Immediately across the roadway is the town of Emmett, and you have 1036.
Captain Dale Wisniewski of Dispatch says having several grids creates obstacles in getting to the scene. He says emergency crews find roads with multiple name changes, inconsistent numbering, and streets with similar names. Adding, out of the 60,000 addresses throughout the county, 420 are exact duplicates.
As you can see, here's all of the areas throughout the county that's got duplicate addresses that we have to deal with.
We have to sometimes double or triple the number of individuals responding to that particular call in order to speed the process up of identifying exactly where the individual is.
When you were talking about emergency, oftentimes it's seconds that make a difference, but this is delaying us minutes, and many minutes.
Wisniewski says delays can cause a situation to unnecessarily escalate. He says one night several years ago, Deputy Jameson Kampmeyer pursued a drunk driver. Following a high-speed chase, the suspect pulled into his long, wooded driveway in Little Chicago.
And the guy gets out of his car and the officer tries to stop him. He starts fighting. The individual is tased, and as he's tased, he falls in through his house, the door closes and breaks the wires. The guy now comes out and he's fighting.
Lieutenant Mike Felder with the Wausau Police Department was the nearest officer who could respond.
In the struggle, the man had broken Deputy Kampmeyer's radio, which is why he couldn't call out.
Not having a specific address, Felder went to where he thought he should go, but then he saw two more deputies pass him going the other direction.
I figured, well, they probably know the area more than I do, so I followed them as they went north on 107. But very quickly we realized, okay, he's not over here.
Meanwhile, the fight was progressing. Deputy Kampmeyer was wrestling with the suspect for several minutes. Then, a sign of hope.
And he hears a siren, woo, 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 and is passing him. And he says, I'm going to have to disengage and shoot this guy.
You're about to lose consciousness, and the person you're wrestling with would then have access to your weapon. Yeah, then it would be a deadly force situation.
It never got to that point. Lieutenant Felder and other deputies found Kampmeyer. Felder says there was a little more struggling, but they quickly got the suspect handcuffed with no one seriously harmed.
If we'd have had some way to know exactly what address he was at, that would have obviously allowed us to respond directly to there.
It wasn't like it had to have gone to that point.
First and foremost, it was...
The Marathon County Board is proposing to readdress the county, giving every 3.5 feet its own unique number, changing out duplicate or similarly named roads, and providing a uniform sign system so every building in the county can be easily found, and someone unsure of their location can find landmarks to get responders to the right location.
Just stay on the line with me, okay? I'm going to dispatch an ambulance and first responders, and then we're going to get an officer coming out your way too, okay?
Okay.
It's on all 4 major entrances of the county. Marathon County, where time is on your side. In an emergency, that's almost never the case. But many first responders agree, especially not here in Marathon County.
Every second's going to seem like a minute, and every minute's going to feel like an hour.
Now, the county board is still presenting to municipalities, as only towns or unincorporated municipalities would have to comply if the county moves forward with its ordinance. Cities and villages would get to vote. Deputy County Administrator Deb Hager says the time to readdress is now, as the companies that support the computer-assisted dispatch system, or CAD, used by emergency responders, and land record system used by bankers, real estate agents, and appraisers will no longer be supporting these older systems, and so they will be upgraded.
As county board looked at this $3.5 million investment, the question became, if we're doing this, is now the time to also address what we now know is a real public safety issue for Marathon County.
Tonight at 10, we continue our special series with more detail on the readdressing plan and how it will affect municipalities throughout the county.